We recently had a comment posted on our description in our podcast, and I'll just summarize it. I'll just take one phrase out of it. It's repeated over and over in the New Covenant that the law is dead and there's not Jew or Greek but one body. And so I just want to comment on this comment and say that we've talked about this many times on our podcast, and that is that the law was never given as a means of salvation. You could go back to the giving of the so-called law, which really the Torah, which was the instruction. The word Torah means instruction. Back to Exodus 19, which was the chapter before the giving of the Torah in Exodus 20 on Mount Sinai, which was intended for Israel to live in right relationship with God. But it was always about relationship. It was always about, this is how I want you to live so that you will experience my blessing, my love in fulfillment of the covenant. And that's always the way it's been. When Yeshua came, he didn't say, okay, now the law is done away with and you can do whatever you want. No, he said, now, I've not come to abolish the law. I've come to fulfill the law. Not one jot or tittle, not one jot or one letter of the law shall pass away until heaven and earth pass away. What does that mean? So when it says that he came to fulfill the Torah, it means that he came to give it its fullest meaning, that he is the living Torah. What does that mean? Well, when he was asked, what is the greatest command? He didn't give them a list of do's and don'ts. He said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. Upon these two, all the law and the prophets rest, you see. So it wasn't that the Torah was done away with ever, or was it ever a means for salvation. It was given actually to show us our sin, so that it would show us our need for atonement, our need for ultimately the Messiah. And God, prior to the Messiah, set up the sacrificial system, you see. And so the law was never done away with, but we get to keep certain things like Shabbat, like the feast, as a blessing, not as a have to.